everybody, thanks for joining me today on my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen's Crafts, and today I am bringing you the first process video. So I had thought about going and doing the embellishment part of it, and one of the things that I find when working with a collection such as these Echo Park kits, it's just easier to have everything in front of you and then move it forward as you finish a layout. So I decided just to go ahead and hold off. So everything that I'm going to be picking is going from the embellishments tags and the ephemera and the sticker sheet. I did pull in a little bit of sequins into my stash, and I did make a shaker pocket off camera with one of the journaling cards that said "Be Happy," and with the one of the frames. So other than that, everything was from that kit. So when you're working with these collections, it's really easy to get through these. This layout took me a total of 14 minutes. I normally will go like 4 times the speed, and this one I'm just doing double the speed. So very quick. So when I was watching Moira do her page kit share, I think it was yesterday's video or today, she had one of her pieces of paper that had the torn edge, and I just love it. So I've had that in my mind, and I almost did like a wonky cut like she had in hers, but instead I decided to go with one of the things that I like to do, which is to stack the torn edges. So I took this floral paper, and then I am going to go ahead and have this gingham paper behind it, each with a torn edge. And then what I do is I layer the photo like it's sitting between the layers, like it had been shoved into a book, or like on a bulletin board where you just have the photo kind of holding into that layer. And I didn't want to cover up too much of the belly bumps because my daughter-in-law, who is in the yellow, and her sister, who is in the blue, are both due in July. So we want to make sure that we show off the baby bumps there for future generations to see. This photo is of my daughter-in-law with her mom, her sister, her nephew, and my son. So great picture of the 5 of them, and we just want to capture that. So here's my shaker pocket that says "Be Happy," and I'm going to move things around just a little bit until I figure out how the weight of everything and where I want it. It just seemed to all be building over in that bottom right hand or left hand corner, and I knew I needed to spread it out. Also, I tend to use more pattern paper, even if it's tone on tone. So using this solid paper was a little bit harder for me to do, but it allowed me to be able to stretch the collection. So I thought about going and using the honeycomb stencil that I have and doing some texture, or some like Tim Holtz behind it. But the lazy scrapper that I am and the busy day that I had working today, I didn't feel like digging through my inks. So we'll do that on another day. So to try and add a little bit more to that upper half, that it's just so much white space and so plain for my eyes, I decided to take the other torn pieces, and I'm going to duplicate the layers and have them up above, and that just kind of frames it in, and it brings it together a little bit more so that plain paper doesn't feel like it's going off into affinity, and kind of holds it there. Now I did have a little piece of doily, and so I'm going to go ahead and move things around and end up having that behind the shaker pocket. It just kind of broke up all the busyness of the frame and of the papers and that green, and allowed it to have that little break of white in there. So I like how that turned out, and it got a little scrap off of my table. So now I'm going to go ahead and decide to use this Simply Beautiful tag, and I'm going to pop it up on some of these little thicker foam squares I have, but they were the perfect height to match the shaker pocket. And so I'm pleased with how that corner built up. So now I want to kind of move to the upper corner. And so I decide that I want this "Be Happy." I'm pulling in the circular element, but I really didn't want to have the journaling in the upper right-hand side. So I'm going to swap it out with that "Oh Sweet Honey" circle tag, and I'm pretty cool with how those 3 elements look together. So I'm going to kind of just go ahead and peek them through. I'm going to have the Oh Happy go over the photo, and then I will tuck the bee in. Actually, I'm going to throw that up on another one of those big foam squares as well, and that way I have dimension on both sides of the photo. And I decide I don't want that one journaling spot up there. So now I'm moving over to the sticker sheet, and I grab this jar of honey. And again, one of the favors that we had were little honey pots and little honey bears. So I thought that was perfect to bring in throughout. We did have these floral stickers, and I'm going to pull one in with the Be Happy, and then the other one worked out to be a perfect element for layering in the upper left-hand corner. Just going to have a little bumblebee flying in the air and keep that simple. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that So Sweet tag and put that in the bottom. But I decide that I still need somewhere to do my journaling. I want to write who's in the picture. Again, we're all young and we think we remember, but I want to remember that, what her nephew's name is and things like that. So I am going to throw in that yellow journaling spot down below. But first I add another honeybee. It's going to fly over by the honey pots, and I grabbed another honey jar and put that on the shaker pocket. I'm hand doodling in some of my little bee trails, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab that yellow journaling card. And I decide that I'm going to use that as my title or my journaling spot. And where the So Sweet tag is, I'm actually going to move it over there. And then it just kind of builds that corner up a little bit more. So I'll tuck it underneath, and then I'm going to add the So Sweet on top of that, and everything is kind of linked together. And that's going to be it for the layout. Again, 14 minutes. It turned out pretty cute. Here's some close-ups for you, and we will see you again tomorrow for another process video.